At $500,000 to $650,000 a machine, you'd better know exactly what it costs you to run, not to buy, to run, every hour, every season, for the next decade. Because that number determines whether this purchase builds your operation or quietly bleeds it. Nobody talks about operating costs per hour at the dealership. They talk horsepower, cab features, financing terms, and by the time you're actually tracking what that machine costs per hour, you're already 3 years into a 7-year commitment with no easy way out. I've managed large acre farm operations long enough to watch that situation play out more times than I want to count. Good operators, smart operators, guys who know their agronomy cold but never ran the honest cost per hour math before they signed. So today on Farm Gear Pro, we're doing this the right way. Every cost factor, every uncomfortable truth, nothing glossed over. The John Deere 9R 590 is sitting at approximately $550,000 to $650,000 new in 2026, depending on configuration, ballasting, and precision ag package. Rated at 590 engine horsepower. This is iron for operators running 4,000 plus acres, pulling large multi-section tillage tools, and needing sustained power delivery across long, demanding days in the field. This is not a machine you buy for a 1,500-acre corn operation. This is the serious end of the market, where every dollar of operating cost per hour matters more than almost any other financial variable on your balance sheet. The Fendt 1000 Vario series, specifically the 1050 and 1042 variants that compete directly with the 9R 590 on horsepower, is sitting at approximately $500,000 to $620,000 new in 2026, depending on configuration. Also firmly in that elite large acre working tractor category. Both machines represent serious capital commitments from serious operators who need maximum capability. The question is which one manages that capability more cost efficiently across a real working season. And the answer involves numbers that might make some of you rethink a decision you thought was already settled. Fuel cost is where this comparison gets genuinely interesting, and where most operators realize they've been thinking about this decision the wrong way. On a machine running 600 to 800 hours per season, a realistic primary tractor workload on a serious large acre operation, fuel is consistently one of the 2 or 3 largest line items in your total operating cost per hour. And these two machines handle fuel very differently depending on what work you're asking them to do on any given day in the field. The John Deere 9R 590 runs a large displacement PowerTech engine designed to deliver sustained high horsepower output under heavy continuous draft loads. At peak load under sustained heavy tillage conditions, it delivers exactly what it was built to deliver. Fuel consumption under those conditions is what you'd expect from a machine in this power class. Substantial. Because moving serious iron through serious soil at serious speeds requires serious fuel, and there's no engineering shortcut around that reality. The Fendt 1000 Vario series makes its fuel argument through the Vario CVT transmission, and specifically through that transmission's ability to keep the engine operating closer to its most efficient load point across a wider range of field conditions throughout the day. The Vario's continuously variable nature means the engine isn't hunting for gears or operating at inefficient points on its power curve as field conditions change. Operators who have run both platforms consistently report that the Fendt's fuel consumption in mixed and variable load conditions compares favorably against the 9R 590. In pure sustained maximum draft conditions, the gap narrows considerably because both machines are working their engines hard. But on a 700-hour season with realistic mixed-duty work, even a consistent half-gallon per hour difference adds up to $1,120 to $1,260 per season at current on-farm diesel prices of $3.20 to $3.60 across most of the US in early 2026. Real money. And it compounds across a full ownership cycle in ways that absolutely affect your bottom line, whether you're tracking it closely or not. The transmission difference between these two machines is the engineering story that drives most of the operating cost conversation, and it's worth understanding clearly before you commit $600,000 to either platform. The John Deere 9R 590 comes with the E23 PowerShift, a 23-speed PowerShift with Command Pro joystick control that large operation operators consistently find smooth, intuitive, and reliable across a full range of field applications. It's mature, proven technology with a long track record in John Deere's large frame tractor lineup. Operators who know it run it with real confidence because it's been thoroughly sorted out through years of actual field use. The Fendt 1000 Vario runs the Vario CVT. And if you've never operated a properly set up Fendt Vario in a large frame tractor doing sustained heavy draft work, you don't have a complete picture of what a CVT can do at this power level. No shift events, no power interruptions. No moments where the transmission is between ratios and the engine is either lugging or over-revving unnecessarily. In variable field conditions, changing soil density, varying terrain, headland turns and re-engagement throughout the day, that continuous optimization of engine load point has measurable fuel efficiency implications that compound across hundreds of hours of operation. The mechanical advantage. The Vario CVT provides in managing the relationship between engine speed and ground speed across variable conditions is a genuine engineering difference between these two machines. Not marketing language. Operators who track their fuel consumption carefully across full seasons notice it consistently. And those savings show up on your annual operating cost statement, whether you planned for them or not. Right here. If Farm Gear Pro is giving you the honest cost breakdown you've been looking for on these two machines, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel right now. We do this every week. Real specs, real 2026 numbers. Zero brand loyalty. Zero dealer spin. Share this with an operator in your network who's sitting on this exact decision right now. Because at this price level, getting it wrong is a lesson that nobody's operation can afford to learn the hard way. Now let's get into maintenance and downtime cost, because this is where most people's cost per hour calculation completely falls apart. Maintenance cost per hour is what operators most consistently underestimate when they're evaluating iron at purchase time. On tractors at this price and complexity level, it deserves serious, honest attention before you sign anything. Both the 9R 590 and the Fendt 1000 Vario run Tier 4 final emissions compliant engines with DEF fluid requirements, DPF regeneration cycles, and SCR catalyst systems. Neither machine escapes that reality in 2026. Scheduled maintenance intervals, DEF consumption, and the occasional emissions system-related service event are part of the ownership cost on both platforms. And any comparison that glosses over this isn't giving you the full picture you need. On the John Deere side, parts availability is a genuine and significant advantage that affects your real operating cost in ways that show up during the absolute worst possible moments. John Deere's dealer network density across the US means when you need a part or a technician during a critical field operation window, the support infrastructure is almost certainly closer and more accessible than it would be for a Fendt in most US geographies. That accessibility has a real and quantifiable dollar value on a large operation. Downtime during planting or harvest doesn't just cost you the repair bill, it costs you yield, timing, and potentially contract obligations that cannot be recovered no matter what you do afterward. On the Fendt side, AGCO has been growing its US Fendt dealer network and actively investing in service infrastructure across the country. The honest reality in 2026 is that Fendt dealer density still does not match John Deere's geographic coverage across the full US market. Where Fendt has established strong dealer presence, operators report very positive service experiences with trained technicians, solid parts support, and responsive service turnaround. But where Fendt coverage is thinner, and those areas still exist across meaningful parts of the US row crop belt, the service accessibility risk is real and needs to be factored honestly into your operating expenses before you commit at this price level. The downtime cost is the number that nobody builds into their cost per hour estimate at purchase time. And it's the one that can single-handedly swing which machine wins this comparison for your specific operation. Think about this honestly. If your primary tractor on a 5,000-acre operation goes down during fall tillage season, not during a slow period, but during that 2 to 3 week window when you absolutely need to be moving serious acres every single day, what does one day of lost productivity actually cost your operation? Lost acres at your typical daily tillage capacity. The downstream impact on your spring planting schedule. the stress load on your remaining equipment trying to compensate, the potential cash flow impact if you're running custom work alongside your own acres. When you stack all of that up, honestly, the cost of one serious downtime event on a machine at this level can easily reach 5 figures in real operational impact on a large acre operation. And that total cost gets divided across your operating hours when you calculate your true cost per hour across a full ownership cycle. That math changes this comparison significantly depending on which machine you're running and specifically where your closest qualified dealer is located. This is exactly why dealer proximity and service responsiveness aren't just convenience factors. They're direct operating cost variables on large operations where downtime during critical windows has fully quantifiable revenue impact. The John Deere 9R590's access to the most geographically comprehensive dealer network in US agriculture is a direct operating cost advantage for the majority of large acre US operators in 2026. The Fendt 1000 Vario's strong engineering and efficiency credentials are real and well documented. But those credentials only fully translate to lower operating cost per hour on operations where dealer support is accessible enough to genuinely keep downtime risk manageable across a full season of hard use. Asset depreciation is the operating cost factor that takes the longest to show up and hits the hardest when it finally does. Over a 7 to 10 year ownership cycle on a machine at this price point, the depreciation curve has an enormous impact on your true total cost of ownership. And that depreciation cost gets directly reflected in your cost per hour when you're being completely honest about what this machine actually costs your operation from purchase day through trade or sale day. John Deere iron at this level historically holds resale value well in the used equipment market. Strong brand recognition across every US geography. Broad operator familiarity that supports active buyer demand. Deep dealer network infrastructure that keeps parts available for used machine owners. A consistent buyer pool that generates competitive resale demand even through broader market softening periods like the past couple of years as the post-pandemic equipment bubble has deflated. Invent iron at this level is a more nuanced depreciation story, specifically in the US market in 2026. In European markets where Fendt has deep brand penetration and comprehensive dealer coverage, Fendt machines hold value very well and resale markets are genuinely robust. In the US, the picture is still developing and building year over year. Fendt's growing presence and the genuine quality of these machines are steadily building resale market strength. But the used buyer pool for Fendt in the US is still meaningfully narrower than for John Deere. And that affects competitive resale pricing in geographies where Fendt ownership is less common and the local buyer community is smaller. An operator trading a used Fendt 1000 series machine in an area with strong local Fendt dealer presence will have a very different resale experience than an operator in an area where that buyer community doesn't yet exist. That geographic variability in resale outcome is a real depreciation risk factor that directly affects your operating cost per hour across the full ownership cycle. Here at Farm Gear Pro, we track this specific comparison closely because it comes up constantly among serious large acre operators in 2026. The honest answer to which machine lowers your operating cost per hour is genuinely more nuanced than most people want it to be. It depends on variables specific to your operation and your geography that no single comparison can fully resolve for you. But here's what real operator experience consistently shows when you stack up all the cost factors honestly across both platforms in the current market. The Fendt 1000 Vario series makes its strongest operating cost per hour argument. When you have a strong, accessible Fendt dealer within reasonable working distance, your workload involves enough variable and mixed duty hours where the Vario CVT's fuel efficiency advantage generates meaningful cumulative savings. And you've honestly factored in your local resale market reality when calculating your full depreciation cost. When all of those conditions line up simultaneously, the Fendt's engineering refinement and fuel efficiency can generate a genuinely competitive or favorable cost per hour argument that serious operators should not dismiss. The John Deere 9R590 makes its strongest cost per hour argument when dealer accessibility and downtime risk management are your dominant operating cost variables, which they genuinely are for a significant majority of large acre US operations in 2026. The 9R590's access to John Deere's unmatched US dealer network, the proven long-term reliability of the E23 PowerShift transmission, the strong and predictable resale value trajectory, and the seamless operations center precision AIG integration that most large US operations are already running. All of those factors combine to make the 9R590's total operating cost per hour argument very strong for operations where those variables dominate the equation. And for most operators across the US in 2026, those variables do dominate. The bottom line on this comparison is this. Both machines are serious, capable iron from manufacturers who know exactly what they're doing at this power level and price point. Neither one is a wrong answer for a well-run large acre operation, but one of them fits your specific operation's cost structure better than the other. And figuring out which one requires honest analysis of your dealer situation, your actual workload profile, and your realistic depreciation expectations in your specific geography. Not what looks best on a spec sheet. Not what the salesman is pushing this quarter. What actually pencils out on your operation's real balance sheet across 10 years of ownership. That's the only number that matters at $600,000 a machine. And now you've got the full framework to run that calculation honestly, which is exactly what Farm Gear Pro is here to give you every single week. Thanks for watching Farm Gear Pro. If you found this breakdown valuable, share it with a fellow farmer and comment below your thoughts on this topic. See you in the next one.